I'm Nicola Bailey. I'm an educationalist specialising in parent and family support with families and children, and my work there was focused on child health and child protection. I've also worked as a foster carer for mothers and babies at risk, and I've worked for many, many years as CEO of a community-based charity that I founded to offer family support, education and training to disadvantaged women. My long-term focus and work with families, especially that of mothers and their children, is based on my understanding and belief that families shape who we are and what we become. And I believe families do this by providing a basis for our values. By values, I mean the family's ideas or personal beliefs about what is important and what is not. What is right, what is wrong. Every family has its own set of values which are meaningful to them. And some families, for example, count honesty and friendship as important, and others would choose education or cooperation with others. But whatever values a family has, whatever values a family lives by, they will affect what they do in their spare time, how they spend their money, who their friends are, how they treat others. In other words, values give meaning and direction to every part of a family's life. Families also influence our ability to love and be loved. They mould our relationships through connections that we have with one another in our immediate family and, of course, in our extended family. And those connections shape the relationship that we also have with ourselves, which of course then in turn helps us see the world in different ways and how we relate to others. Families teach us the importance of responsibility and authenticity, which in turn provides us with the foundation for our self-confidence and self-esteem. Learning a sense of responsibility develops a sense of belonging, a feeling of being needed, that you're important in the team. So for example, if you have a child and you give them a task which they're held accountable for, then they really truly believe that that's an important job and it's important to the team. And this raises their self-esteem, their sense of self-worth, because they feel an important player. And of course, that helps them build on their positive self-concept, which goes on to give them confidence and courage to fulfill their potential as they make their way in the world. And all of these attributes come together to create something called family cohesion, which might be better described as a sort of strengthened emotional bond across the family members. And it plays a really important role in our identity. It also plays a really important role in how we see ourselves in terms of our health and well-being and how we measure that. It guides our behaviour, our relationships with ourselves and others, and it sets us on a trajectory for the rest of our lives. And this is the job of parenting, which quite frankly is a heck of a task to pile at the feet of anyone, any new parents, but we do. And as though that challenge isn't quite big enough, the world out there works on the supposition that all parents, regardless of their age or ability, will know all of this, will know what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and everything that needs to be done. That's a huge responsibility. That said, I think it's safe to say that parenting is the single most important job any of us will ever be asked to do. Indeed, there's no task with a greater set of expectations or responsibility. Yet, as is often observed, it comes without qualification, need for experience, no training, often little support, and not even a leaflet or a manual. It's a concept that's created by humans and delivered by humans, and that, frankly, should be the first big red flag right there, because we all know how fickle and contrary human nature can be. And indeed, it is that wonderful, fickle, contrary nature of humans that makes each and every one of us wonderfully unique. But at the same time, that uniqueness of each individual, each parent and each child can cause parenting to be quite challenging at times. And more so when you have confusing layers when you have those unique relationships, and they're coloured by where you live, the level of your resources, your cultural influences, your life experiences. They all make a very difficult to understand set of circumstances for each and every child. So the task for a parent to understand and be able to predict what each and every child will need on their developmental journey is extremely difficult. In other words, we're never going to come to a point where we can have a definitive step-by-step model to parenting, because there are just too many variables involved. Which probably explains why, if we're honest, for those of us who are parents, the typical modus operandus is strongly guided by that great philosophy of trial and error, or if we say it more positively, trial and improvement if we've had more than one child. In many Western cultures, though, at the point of becoming a new parent, support and professional guidance is usually available for the first few weeks and months. However, over the course of the following 18 years, typically that becomes something that's only available when there's a problem. You see, the snag of using the positive assumptive model, where we suppose all parents will just take to the task of parenting like a duck to water, suggests that difficulties are very unlikely. So when we run into those parenting problems and we need to ask for help, it often makes us feel as parents that we've been inadequate, that we're failing in some way, that it's a sign of weakness, or we've just got a lack of natural nurturing qualities that should have been there organically. None of which is true. In fact, quite the opposite. It's the most natural thing in the world to struggle with a task of the enormity that it is over the course of 18 long years. Of course, for some parents, they're lucky, they've got strong family networks close by, and they're able to provide emotional and practical help and advice. But for many others, they find themselves in different countries, flying solo, they don't have partners, or they live such different lives to that of their own parents that they've got no model to base their modern parenting situations on. They have nothing to compare with, they have no points of reference. And in the absence of family support then, or timely access to free professional guidance, I'll just say that again, timely access to free professional guidance, because professional guidance is often available, but not always in a timely manner. When you're having a crisis at home, you really need someone to deal with it when the crisis is there, not in 6 months' time. So without the support and without some guidance, parents can often feel very criticised, very isolated, and absolutely overwhelmed by their role. And for me, this is a travesty. This is a huge societal oversight. Not looking after our parents, not recognising the importance that family has and the significance of the role of the parent on humankind, because many parents, it's a collective, are dealing with many children. We have had in the past, and we will continue to have, enormous problems with some of our young people growing up and some of our parents trying to deal with those situations. And you know, when I think about it, I often liken it to the fear and lack of understanding that existed for many years around the importance and understanding of mental health, where until recent times our society just refused to recognise its importance, and where in the past we made no space for the people who were experiencing challenges, and those people who were open about their struggles were socially judged and frequently ostracised, as were often members of their families too. And parenting is kind of the same, that we have parents who are really struggling, and there's little or nothing for them to access, and they are criticised, social judgments made, comments are made, but no action and support is given. And we think about it, you know, quite often as parents just around in the playground, we see children who are behaving in a way which is socially unacceptable. We can see the mother struggling. And the last thing that we do is reach out and help that mother. We say, no, that child can't come round for tea. Or, no, don't play with him. He's not a nice child. As though it's some sort of contagious problem that our children will also be infected by. And going back to the mental health, we've now got a much greater understanding that mental health is just like physical health. We're all susceptible to its vagaries. None of us are immune to the possibilities of poor health. And we've come to learn that those who become unwell actually respond so much better when they're treated with kindness and understanding, and when they're given practical intervention at appropriate times. Again, so much like parenting. If we could just replace the criticism with kindness and be supportive of those who are struggling, our families would be in a much better position to foster that all-important family cohesion that I mentioned earlier. Until such times, there are key factors in our parenting which, if we practice them daily, we can ameliorate the likelihood of parenting and family discord. And it's these factors or guiding principles that Teuta and I would like to share with you. It's not a specific list of do's and don'ts. It's not about promoting a particular parenting model. The approach is more about raising our mindfulness when we are parenting, being clear with ourselves on what we're doing, why we're doing it, and understanding why we get the outcomes we get, and how to change those outcomes if we want to. So to this end, we're offering a 6-week course based on what I call the pillars of parenting. These are 3 key principles, and these principles are communication, routine, and boundaries. And each element is seen as an essential pillar, each playing a critical role in supporting the overall framework for parenting of any age child. And at the same time, it retains plenty of flexibility for that uniqueness around the family and uniqueness around the individuals within it. And these pillars act as a structure to help focus on developing parental awareness and by promoting responsibility in the children. Much of the work is centred on helping children make choices in order that they are active in shaping and understanding their own behaviour so that they become more socially aware, more self-confident, and ultimately responsibly independent. The course is judgment-free, it's cost-free, it's super supportive, and hopefully it's going to be lots of fun too. I can't wait to get started, but before we rush ahead, please let me introduce Teuta.
It is my great honor to be here today and to connect with all of you from different countries and from our beautiful land of UK. I would like to thank each of every one of you. I appreciate that you've given up your valuable time and came here to listen. And for that, therefore, it is my duty to reward you what you deserve and to make good of use of your time too. I'd like to thank Nicola for being such an amazing and great supporter. I really enjoyed working with her. I appreciate it. Thank you, Nicola. Last but not the least, I would like to thank Margaret, Robin, and Universal Peace Federation for giving me this golden opportunity. I am very humbled to be here today. I am very humbled that I am part of Universal Peace Federation, which its values and beliefs are very close to my heart. The big vision on universal peace is to bring peace in the world. And I believe that we can, by building a bridge from one country to another, from one heart to another, until we are all connected. And then that will be our legacy, for love, peace, until we are connected. Also, the main principle of Universal Peace Federation is family as a school of love. Because being a parent is a great responsibility. It's a job that no any other jobs exist. Also, God counts on mothers because family is the smallest unit of society, and many peaceful families add up to a more peaceful world. Let me introduce myself. My name is Teuta Avdyli. I am a mother of 2 beautiful children, 11-year-old daughter and 8-year-old son, married for 24 years. I am an author, actively writing about my calling. My passion is to bring in the world an education system to teach parents and super skills and to live legacy of love. Also, my book, my first book, is called Born to Stand Out and Not Fit In, which was international bestseller. My second upcoming book, soon to be released, is called Family Legacy of Love. I am a public speaker, international women's empowerment and successful parenting coach, also an awarded ambassador of peace, and multi-award winner. The last one was the Mayor's Award certificate. Also, I'm a part of Successful Mothers boarding platform. Just this year, I've been to different TV channels and radio programs, and I shared my message with the world. Recently, I finished entrepreneur course and speakers are leaders, advanced certificate. I have a professional diploma in teaching, bachelor's degree in teaching primary school children, and I have bachelor's degree in computer science, and I've done numerous courses in child development. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever considered that there is a golden thread linked to everyone's unrelated, everyone's life? And finding this golden thread, it gives life meaning. For the past 2 decades, I struggled finding this golden thread. Well, that has changed now, ladies and gentlemen, because I should not be here today. Standing where I am this moment, it wasn't easy. It was a long journey filled with emotion and the pain, and with a crooked path and rough roads. But every lesson learned was worth every pain. Let me tell you a story. My story. It was beautiful sunny day, September 2016. Finally, my children are full-time at school. I was rejoicing that moment. Mom, do you know what I'm talking about? Please, don't get me wrong. I love my children. They are my everything. After being 10 years a stay-at-home mom, I was ready to break free and to put myself first for a change. Now I have time to do the things that I love and to create my own dreams. That's what I thought. And I felt the happiest woman in the world. But little did I know that I was getting ready to meet for what was coming next. Something that will change my life forever. It is that moment when you say, that's it, I am done. My life has come to an end. I got my bicycle and I was riding on the road and stopped at the traffic lights. When out of blue, a huge bang! I was flung to the side of the road and knocked down on the ground. I couldn't comprehend what happened to me. My heart came to my throat, from the sunshine to the darkness. When I saw a big, heavy lorry came over my legs 3 times. I screamed for help, but the driver didn't see me. And then I screamed, and then the second roll over. I screamed to the exceeding in a bitter cry. You can imagine the desperation on my voice, on my heart, and my soul. The pain was so intense. And then I was looking around how to help myself. Oh yes, I saw a steel pole in front of me. I reached for it and I grabbed it with my 2 hands and I gave my body a big push, hoping to save myself for the 3rd rollover. But I couldn't move an inch as my feet were stuck, trapped under the bicycle wheel. At that point, I didn't know if I'd live or die. A pure terror. I felt utterly powerless, perplexed, undignified. That was the worst feeling, to be completely lost. And I raised my head to see the state of my leg, pool of blood gushing everywhere. Then I knew that something was extremely, severely wrong. And then I looked up for something big. I lifted my voice, I wept, and I pleaded with God. I said, God, please help me now. Let me live even without arms, even without legs, but just keep my heart and keep my mind. Oh yes, please don't let my children without their mom. They are too young. How can I live without saying them my last goodbye? I felt that I was leaving, completely accepting of death. I closed my eyes and I was floating on the white, bright clouds. I could see my children, their faces, their smiles, running towards me and saying, Mommy! I thought that I would never see them again. Soon, and then I found myself, soon something opened up. This powerful inner voice said to me, no, this is not your time yet. It's gonna be okay. This too shall pass. How about your children? And immediately I got back my will to live. I got this sense of peace, unbelievable strength that goes beyond any human understanding and comprehension. I was feeling more and thinking less. Nothing mattered anymore. No memories, no family, just my eternity. I could feel that sensation, that vibration through every fiber of my body. What an amazing feeling. I was in a deep connection with the beauty of the creation itself. If I could, just could describe that feeling, but I can't. I'm not big enough. I never knew up to that moment how precious life is when I wanted to leave. How precious family is when I wanted to say my last goodbyes. How precious the air priceless the air we breathe when I was gasping for air and to take another air and hoping another one. Soon I found myself at the hospital bed, stayed there 1 month and 8 months bedridden. I have scars all over my legs. I never forget when the doctor came to me and said, Teuta, you are very lucky to be alive. I said, I am blessed and I believe in miracles. And then he continued and said, Teuta, we're gonna try our best, but I cannot promise if you're gonna be able to walk again. I remained quiet and I looked at him and I said, it's okay. You know why? Because I was happy that I was alive. I was happy that I could see my children. I knew that it's gonna be okay. And I knew that God saved me for a big reason. There, I remember that when my children came to visit me at the hospital, my son was 4 years at the time. He came to me and said, Mommy, you're not gonna die? We haven't finished our story yet. I said, no, I'm not gonna die. And then he came to me, looked at me and gave me his precious hugs and kisses and said, Mommy, you smell like a hospital. And then he looked at me and put his head on my chest and said, Mommy, no worries. You're soon gonna smell like a flower again. I treasure those moments because he gave me strength to live, even in the middle of my great pain. There in hospital bed, as I was fighting for my life, and doctor couldn't believe the miracle I became. I started analyzing my life, every details of my life. There, in the time of despair, I found my greatness. I found my purpose. A small inner voice said to me, slow down, slow down. You worry for everything. That was my turning point moment in my life because I knew exactly what that meant. The guilt that I felt of being obsessive and controlling mother with my children's education and constantly worrying about the future. All I wanted is to stop the clock and start again. But we cannot do that, can we? We cannot blame our children. We cannot divorce our children. Have you ever felt that way, moms, like me? And we don't realize that what damage we do to our children? Sometimes we have to go through wilderness to learn from our harsh life experiences. This time I want to do differently, to carry knowledge, to empower families with my unique gift. This time I cannot take it for granted. The point of my story is, if you have love for your family, if you have faith is everything you have to remain, then you have hope you raise above all the limitation. No matter the weather, you can bring your own sunshine. Because you never know if you have a second chance. As me, I have a second chance. And to say to your loved ones that I love you or I care for you. You never know the power that is inside of you until you fight for your life. If you can run, walk. If you can walk, crawl. If you can crawl, push through. No matter what, just never give up. Because you are born to stand out and to leave a legacy. Since I was a young girl, I always craved a pint for love, always dreamt and wished that one day I'll have a husband who will love me unconditionally, like my dad was, and to love me and to have a blessed family. But also I realized that I wanted something even bigger. I have this burning desire inside of me to be a contribution to humanity, to leave something forever, a legacy. The moment that you transform someone's life, that is the greatest joy. And the level of fulfillment is priceless. With a strong, unified family of my own, I looked at my own journey and experiences and realized and learned on my key innovative skills and started investing and working hard and produce great work on empowering families with so many challenging issues. I have worked hard putting together this 7 weeks program, Decoding Parenting, Family School of Love, here at UPF with Nicola. Since I became a mother, I realized that family is not only important thing, it is your everything. Unfortunately, our world is confused what life is and what good things can you do. We are messed up. We no longer have a definition or point of reference about love. Once I thought, children don't come one size fits all, and neither do the parents. Once I thought that I'm gonna do everything right and tick all the boxes and to be the best parent that I long to be. But then I realized children don't need perfection. All you can do is just give them the gift of your time. Communicate them with a focused attention. Enjoy and live the moment and hear with your heart. That transformed my own parenting. I want you to just close your eyes for a moment and really remember the first time when you hold your child in your hands. You are so amazed how little her hands and her feet are. You always dream and hope for their life. And all you want to do is to be the best parent, the best that anyone can be. I remember one time that I was coming from my training home and I found my son waiting at the stairs. I asked him, why are you not in bed? He said, Mommy, I'm waiting for your kiss. I dropped everything and I gave him endless kisses, hugs, and we both giggled. We both lived the moment. And he went straight away to bed. All he wanted that moment was just to enjoy, was just to give that kiss and to leave the moment. Parents, do not let your work and your busyness to take you away from your precious one. We live in this hectic and busy world with so many distractions that is changing beyond measure with an astonishing speed. How about when it comes to parenting? We see lots of problems in our society. A crucial one that couples are not staying together. How they are without their needed skills, lack of communication, understanding to keep the family together. Nowadays, children contradict and not honoring their parents. They want to do their things in their own way and in their own time. Technology is playing a big role into it. Our children are exposed to harmful content before their eyes, before their minds. And managing their screen time is an ongoing challenge. This will mold our children's character. And the parent relationship is negatively affected. Also, social media is damaging our children. We have to direct them and to guide them because they're seeing a lot of negativity. As a mother, it concerns me in this today's pace of an over-connected world. Our children are not ready to manage their emotions, and oftentimes it turns to a destructive or addicted behavior. Just to name some: bullying, cyberbullying, pregnancy, teenager pregnancy, violence, crime, often some cases in suicidal. I know, and I am determined to help as many families, and I'm working hard to change this. I've done lots of research and I have analyzed many cases, and I understood and unraveled many crucial facts, and I came to a conclusion. This behavior has to finish before it's too late. My next upcoming book, soon to be released, Family, Legacy of Love. I found fulfillment, and I wrote this with passion, and I dedicate my life to this mission, based on GPS, Great Parenting System, which analyzes all the key pillars that a family needs to be strong, happy, well-grounded, and strong enough to withstand years of difficult challenges. It answers many of the parents and guardians' questions. Also offers great techniques, methods, and solves results and gives the results of many parents' asks. My point of this speech, are we gonna teach the quality that we give our children, of education that we give our children today, will reflect and determine the quality of our future leaders tomorrow. Are we gonna let our children's identity to be fixed and shaped from outside? Or we're gonna teach them to be the true inner self, the true unique self, to be the perfect them, to live the perfect purpose, and to have self-confidence. And that is already enough. Are we gonna let our children to be selfish and to take advantage to other human beings, even if that it takes to fight or die? Or we're gonna give them unconditional love, teach them family values and beliefs, and train them spiritually. And then we hope that with this, we're gonna save our planet from this dreadful and nightmare that we and our children live today. I believe If we teach and discipline our children in the right way and in God's principles, lay strong foundation and set worthy examples, then I believe there is hope. Then we're gonna reap good fruits. Then we're gonna then we can create peace in this world that is growing colder, darker, and uglier day by day. Parents, grandparents, teachers, everyone, we have a great calling. We are great influencers on molding our children's character. We have a potential to change the tide of violence, crime, hatred with every kiss, every cuddle, every thoughtful responses. As the main verse says, do everything in love. And I want to make sure, as I go through in life, I leave traces of love behind. Let us work together to raise powerful leaders. Let us work together to create outstanding values that this humankind can have, like faithfulness, humbleness, acceptance, gratefulness, loving kindness, and friendship. Let us work together to raise our children in a safe environment without wars, corruption, and dispute against human beings. Let us help our children to raise future families with the most powerful legacy of humanity. Let's create school of love. Let's create the legacy of love. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless your families. Thank you.
Wow. What a story. Such powerful stuff. What an amazing, amazing woman. And it's pretty hard to follow that, really. We were going to have an activity which actually just seems to have paled into the background, so I'm going to skip it. What I'd like to do now is come back to Teuta, who's going to go through what the weekly breakdown is going to look like in terms of content for the programme. So, Robin, if you want to pop that up on the screen, and then Teuta can just talk her way through it, and people, if they want to make notes, that's fine.
Just have to spotlight on Teuta. Thank you. Need to unmute yourself, Teuta.
Yeah, I've done.
Okay, and then I'm going to share the screen.
Yes, we are very happy to share this 7 weeks program here. And can you hear? Yeah. Okay. Yes, and I promise that after 7 weeks, that you're going to have all the tools that you need to be happy, positive, and empowered again. I also am privileged that you have decided and willing to go on a journey and of exploring how to come to be better when we all are together. So we have in the week 1 is what is parenting, the role of the parent in a different types of parenting. Some of us, we might find that we are in one type of parenting, and some we might be in a blend of the types of parenting. And that is fine. If you find that your child the type of parenting that is not working for your child, then it's fine that you can, and it's okay. You can change. And the second week is communication. Also, perhaps communication, limited values, de-escalating, conflict, and mixed messages. I believe that the important thing, the key skill, is how to communicate with your child, the tone of voice, and choosing the words that you say to your child, and that we can de-escalate the conflict. The week 3 is the routines, why we need them, how to create them, and when and how to change them. We need, daily routines can help us to feel more controlled and in everything that we do. Routines teach our children that understanding the time and
Robin unmuted me.
very very important, and how to perform, how and how they can become successful in life. Week 4 is on why you need them, how to create them, and taking responsibilities and sanctions. The boundaries, if it's like when we don't give the child boundaries, it's like we giving them way to destruction. So the boundaries are very important in our family life and our children. They have to know cause and effect. In everything that they do, they have to know that there is consequences. No matter the choices they take, there is a responsibility in that. Week 5 is changing behavior, how to use the pillars of parenting together and to create a positive behavior. How to handle the bad behavior and instead to reinforce with the positive behavior. When children misbehave, sometimes we parents explode. So it's time to calm down and to take that bad behavior to turn to a positive behavior. And how to praise, instead of concentrating on the bad things, how to praise and reward them for the good things they do. To give attention to the little things that they do good. And week 6 is promoting independence. Children confidence grows as they learn how to become independent. Children learn from mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes as well. We can build a child independence by supporting them, by giving them daily independence. 6-7 is parent support, where it is needed and where to find it. You know, this will focus to ensure that both parents are working together. Sometimes we take all the responsibility as mothers, but it's okay to ask for help. And that I believe that doesn't mean that we take in our power, like we take away our power, but to ask from other or your partner or husband or even a friend to ask help. It's okay. And the child will praise you for that, will respect you for that. So the importance of raising the children both, so how to include the both parents is very important. So to find support parent to parent.
Thank you very much. I mean, that's really the summary of it. That's what we're going to be doing. I can't wait to get going on it. The courses are always about the people who are on the courses. So every course I run, even if it's the same content, it's never the same course price because you've got different people. And as some of you have already said, bringing yourself into the conversation, making it very real. It's about real people, real families, real children, and real change. And I think it's only when we are completely authentic and make ourselves vulnerable, put ourselves on the line a little bit, and just be honest. Because as I said in the beginning of the conversation that we started today, none of us should be embarrassed about the fact that sometimes things don't work out. You know, it's the most normal thing in the world. It's a very complex job, and if we can help each other and we can be the support that we should have, that should be readily available to every parent. But maybe we have to be that support for each other. So I'm excited to get going on the story. I'm excited to get going on the course. And we'll be using the outline that Teuta just described to you as a sort of, if you like, the coat hanger to hang all the stuff on. Please, next week, as we get started, do come willing to share, do come willing to be open and to hear what other people have to say as well.